In connection with the deaths of Savanah Soto and her boyfriend, Matthew Guerra, a father and son were arrested. Savanah Soto and Matthew were discovered dead in a vehicle in the 5900 block of Danny K, and authorities were looking for two people of interest in the case. Authorities stated that when detectives arrived at the scene and began collecting evidence, one of the key pieces of evidence they discovered was Savanah's cell phone. The department's technology team, with the assistance of the U.S. Secret Service, was able to obtain sufficient information, which was then provided to detectives. The police were able to pinpoint a possible location for the suspect vehicle seen on surveillance video camera footage released last week. The victim's vehicle were discovered to be pinged near Charlie Chan Drive for some time before moving to the location where the bodies were discovered. Authorities went to the location and found the vehicle. They were able to determine which house the vehicle belonged to after some video surveillance. Officers then went to the door and knocked, and the father, Ramon Preciado, answered. Authorities stated that he understood why the cops were there and that he was fully cooperating with the investigation. Christopher Preciado, 19, and his father Ramon Preciado, 53, were both brought in for questioning. Detectives said they had enough evidence to obtain a judge's signature on a warrant charging the two. Police believe the shooting was the result of a botched narcotics transaction. On the night of December 21st, according to an arrest warrant affidavit, Matthew Guerra went to Preciado's house to sell the drug. Christopher Preciado stated that Matthew Guerra pointed a gun at him and Preciado manipulated the weapon, resulting in Savanah Soto being shot. Guerra then pointed the gun again at Christopher Preciado, who told detectives that he manipulated the weapon again, resulting in Guerra being shot. According to police, Christopher Preciado is the alleged sole murderer in the case. According to SAPD, his father assisted in the concealment of the bodies. According to the affidavit, Christopher Preciado drove Guerra's vehicle to the apartment complex on Danny K Drive 5 days later, where the bodies were discovered. Ramon Preciado admitted to detectives that he drove the pickup to the apartment complex to meet his son, as seen on police surveillance footage. According to police, Christopher Preciado has no prior criminal history, but his father does. The bond for Ramon Preciado is set at $600,000, while the bond for Christopher Preciado is set at $2 million. Christopher Preciado has been charged with capital murder, while Ramon Preciado has been charged with abuse of a corpse.
You saw this evening, the first individual's name is Ramon Preciado, 53 years old, SID number 443651. The second individual was Christopher Preciado, 19 years old, SID number 1191061. So the two individuals we just walked out today, again, is a father and son. The first individual is a father, the second individual is a son. They're going to be charged. The son's going to be charged this evening with capital murder, and the father's going to be charged with abuse of a corpse. So we do expect more charges to be pending. So I'm not going to go into the whole thing. We all know what kind of led us to this to where we are today. I will say that when we recover, or when the bodies were discovered on Danny K, obviously the investigation began. SAPD detectives made that location and started collecting evidence. One of the key pieces of evidence that we did collect at the scene was Savanah's cell phone, and so that was handed over to our technology team, who was able to download some information on there. With the assistance of the U.S. Secret Service, we were able to get enough information, and so that information was given to our detectives today. With that information, the detectives were able to find a possible location of where the suspect vehicle that was released on that surveillance camera, the surveillance video, possible location where that suspect vehicle might be. They made that location, and sure enough, the vehicle was there. They did a little bit of surveillance on the video, or on the vehicle, and then were able to determine which house it belonged to. They went up, knocked on the door. The first gentleman, the first individual, the father answered the door. He knew why the police were there. Was cooperated fully with the investigation. We're brought here to headquarters, and our detectives were able to start interviewing both the son and the father. Again, they were both at the home. They were both brought down here, and the interrogations began. Through interrogating the individuals, our detectives had enough, based on what they said, there was enough information there to get a warrant signed by a judge tonight, again, to charge Christopher with capital murder and Ramon with abuse of a corpse. Again, there will be more charges pending, but this is what we have right now. I'll answer any questions that you might have.
Did you do the capital murder for the son and then abuse release of the corpse charge for the dad, does that mean that you guys believe the son killed them and then the dad helped hide the bodies?
Yes. And so I want to touch base on something real quick. Since the release of the video that we put out on the 28th, internet has blown up with people sending tips and people just sending misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation out there. These two individuals are the only suspects that we were looking for. They were arrested. There were many names being thrown around on the internet. Those people had nothing to do with this. We vetted them and everything. They didn't have anything to do with these murderers. So the individual, again, Christopher, we believe committed the murders of Matthew and Savanah, and then Ramon helped kind of dump the body. It appears to be a narcotic-related deal that went bad.
Do we know the connection between this father and son and Matthew and Savanah, or the connection to the apartment complex?
So there's no apparent connection to the apartment complex. It's just a place where they went to go dispose or hide the vehicle with the bodies in it, and it appears that it was a drug deal. So there was like a drug connection to the suspect and the two victims.
When you say abuse of a corpse, can you talk about that a little bit? Was there any mutilation, or is that?
It's just when you hiding the body, moving the body after discovering that and all that kind of stuff. Yep.
When he killed him, what exactly?
So December 21st, which is a Thursday, just before midnight, is when the actual murders took place. On that. Mm-hmm.
Are they going to be charged for the baby? Because in the state of Texas, technically, they could be charged for.
Right. So like I said, there's going to be possible charges pending, more charges pending. Our detectives are going to talk with the Bexar County DA to determine if there are going to be any charges facing any charges related to the unborn baby.
And do we know if she was dilated at all?
I didn't have that information from the medical examiners. I know that she was scheduled to be induced. And she didn't make her appointment, which is why the family went to the police to file the missing persons report.
Did he say where exactly they killed him?
I don't know exactly location or position, and then taken to the apartment complex to dispose of the vehicle and the body. I know there was some Spanish. His son.
These two have previous records.
I'm sorry?
These two have previous records.
Christopher has no previous criminal history, and Ramon did have a small. He had some prior criminal history.
So, are you all done looking for suspects at this
Yeah,
point?
we don't have any other suspects that we're looking for.
And then that surveillance video, were they alive during that surveillance
No.
video? They were not alive.
They were not alive. No.
Last question, guys. Christopher killed them and then moved the bodies to the car?
Correct. Well, I mean, I don't know if you moved them into the vehicle. The vehicle with the bodies in was driven to that apartment complex. It didn't happen at that apartment complex.
So ultimately, who's going to make the decision on the final charges? Is that going to be the DA's office?
Correct. Yes. So our detective again tonight are charging them with Christopher with capital murder, and Ramon with abuse of a corpse. They are working on some other charges that they're going to file. But regarding, I think specifically the question that you had about the unborn baby, they're going to have a conversation with the DA to determine whether they can charge or put the baby as another victim on this.
So does SAP have any say whenever they talk to the DA's office?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a collaboration with our DA's office.
Would you say SAPD is going to seek that they're charged for the unborn baby?
Our detectives are going to do everything they can to bring justice to the family.
Thank you, guys.